I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-minute convos where I help you create a brand of your own unique, real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good night, Carole Murphy. How are you going on this wonderful, beautiful night?
I am roasty, toasty, and cozy in my house because it's kind of chilly out there.
Oh my.
And snowy.
What part of the world are you in right now?
Montana.
Okay, all right. Like, what is chilly right now? What temperature is it there?
Oh, gosh. It's probably about 0.
Oh, that's not chilly.
Fahrenheit.
Oh, 0 Fahrenheit makes it even worse. Oh, okay. Well, hey, I'm so sorry. Well, I can always do what I always do. I just remembered I have an email set up there of Caribbean sunshine that I can send your way. Carole,
nice.
Carole, please do tell us which of your talents is responsible for us connecting.
Oh, there are so many. I'm not sure. I don't know. How did you find me?
Podcast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's the radio station and you have the radio program and you throw it out into a podcast. Is that accurate?
That is accurate.
Yeah. So tell us about that.
So the podcast came about as a result of my desire to see the way that business is done on the planet change. I actually started a company called Purse for the People before the podcast began. And when I started Purse for the People, that arose out of lots and lots of investigation and research around business. And I discovered that there's actually a movement on the planet that I wanted to be a part of. I didn't even know it existed before I actually had this kind of burning internal desire to influence and change the way the business is done. And it goes by, the movement kind of goes by several different titles or names: social entrepreneurship, conscious capitalism, the new paradigm of business. I think all of those really address an observation that many people have had on the planet, which is basically that business can be used for a very powerful tool to create sustainable, healthy, long-term economic prosperity for everyone. So when I moved back to my hometown here in Butte, I had already started working on Purse of the People, and to my surprise and amazement, there was a new radio station opening and starting just about that same time. So I approached the manager of the station and said, I would like to do a talk program on business, sustainable business or conscious business practices. And to my surprise and amazement, they said, great, let's do it. So that's how I started the podcast.
Wow, that's amazing. Wow, it's like putting yourself out there. Wow.
It was a little scary, but fun. More fun than scary.
So you got onto the radio station. Tell me, who did you learn the skills to even start that program? Like the first day on the mic?
I didn't.
You didn't?
I just went for it. Yeah.
Wow.
And Clark Grant, who is our producer and the station manager, is an excellent example. He basically very skillfully and effectively has trained over 75 DJs in the last 2 years.
Wow.
And he has given voice to not just myself, but to many other people, activists, influencers in our community, very graciously. And the station has had a big impact, not just, I would like to think, not just in our community, but because we live stream, we can be heard any place on the planet via the computer. So, we just kind of went for it and learned as we went. And the format has changed over time. And that change that has occurred with Heartstock Radio has been the result of just gaining experience and learning and asking ourselves the question, how can we make this better? So currently we do a live program every Wednesday evening starting at 7:00, and we record that for podcast. So it's kind of a dual format, live and podcast.
Yeah, intriguing. All right. So we have Hot Stock Radio podcast. Where's the best place for someone to connect with what you guys do? Send us to our website, please.
So we're on iTunes podcast. So if you just go on to the iTunes podcast app, which you can download on, Apple apps. And then if you just search Heartstock Radio, we will pop up. We're also on Podbean, Podbean. If you go on to Podbean and search Heartstock Radio, we will pop up. We can also be heard via live stream every Wednesday at 7:00 on KBMF. So that's butteamericaradio.org.
All right. This is 7:00 Eastern or Central time?
That's Mountain Standard Time.
Mountain Standard.
Yeah, so it's 9 Eastern.
Wonderful. Well, tell me one other thing, Carole, that you've done consistently over the last 3 years, please.
What have I done consistently? Meditate over the last 3 years.
How does that make you feel?
Well, meditation has provided clarity because, being a very busy person and having a lot of plates in the air simultaneously can create a very busy mind. So that very solid, grounded, connected feeling with my purpose comes from meditation, and that really helps propel everything forward. Everything is evolving, everything is always changing, everything is always getting better. And the thing that helps me do that is silence and meditation.
Why would you suggest to someone that's listening that they even consider the idea of meditation?
Do it. It doesn't matter where you are, who you are. 5 minutes, 5 hours, 5 days, 5 months, whatever you can muster. The more you do it, the more you'll see the results in your life, all aspects of your life, your relationship, of course, first with yourself. And it will be transformational.
Now, the bags you were telling us about, did you continue with that?
Yes.
The purses?
Yes. So the company name is Purse for the People. You can find us online. Again, just Google Purse for the People and we'll pop up. What we currently sell on this e-commerce website are prefabricated, off-the-shelf, non-customized bags. The ultimate goal and where we're building out to is a completely customizable bag using specialized software called a configurator. Our customers, just by simple clicks with the mouse, can design their own handbag. So once that bag is designed, and the software is already up and running, the beta of that software, so that's another thing that we really encourage our customers to do, is to go online and test the software. You just go into the tab that says designed by you, your design, and that takes you to the software that you can play with and configure or design your own handbag. Once our customers do that, we will assemble the bag here and ship it to their door. So a lot of our products come from all over the world. Our number one challenge and goal is to create a completely eco-friendly, earth-friendly bag. Right now, fashion is considered the second most polluting industry on the planet. And I really believe that we live in an era that we can really accomplish just about anything with technology and with all of the resources that we have at our fingertips. So I took it upon myself as a personal challenge to create a fashion item, in this case, a handbag, which will expand to other items in the future, but right now it's just a handbag, to create a completely eco-friendly bag.
Yeah.
And so our products come from all over, a lot of rattan from the rainforest, eco-friendly leather, plant-based leather, recycled polyester fabric, organic cotton, all of those things, which make it beautiful and healthy for the planet.
Oh, wonderful. Well done. The website is very easy to maneuver, and the design idea is such a great idea. Well done,
Thanks.
Carole. Well done. Well done.
Thanks.
So again, that's purseforthepeople.com. Create, well, you could do / create my bag, right? And goes directly into the design by you. It's pretty impressive stuff. All right, well, Carole, hey, let's switch gears for a moment now and let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Carole, what is your earliest childhood memory?
Oh, gosh, my earliest childhood memory. I remember I would have had to have been maybe 2 or 3. I remember standing on the sidewalk in front of our house here in Butte. And I think we were getting ready to go someplace in the car. And that's really all I remember. It's kind of funny that memory has stuck in my mind because I don't really understand the significance of it or anything that transpired before or after it. But I do remember standing on the sidewalk, and I think the house is no longer there, but it's just funny. That's my memory.
So you're standing on the sidewalk, and then you get in the car, and that's it.
Well, I remember the fence. There was something kind of beautiful about this old wire mesh fence, and I remember just kind of standing on the sidewalk in anticipation of going someplace, and that's kind of the full extent of it.
Oh, that's intriguing. How old do you think you were?
Well, I would have had to have been around 2 or 3 because by the time I was 4, we lived on a farm out in the country. So that's how I know I was pretty young at that point because we still lived in town at that time.
So I'm still asking, why do you think this memory sticks out of all the memories?
Oh, well, it's my earliest memory, and I don't know. I guess maybe it was a prelude to a lot of affection and love that I have for the town that I grew up in. And there's a lot of history here, and I feel very connected to that, even though I can look around and I can see the remnants of that history. I didn't live through it, but yet I feel very connected to it. And I think it's a very important saga that's part of the human experience, or what I like to call the human experiment that's on our planet, going on our planet. A lot of it is, again, connected to business, but the Industrial Revolution, Butte, Montana played a big role in that, and it's kind of the poster child for the American Industrial Revolution. And there were many things that impacted the course of our history in this country and on the planet that happened here. So maybe that's why. Maybe I needed some kind of imprint or stamp or memory that took me back to that really early time of being a citizen of Butte, Montana.
Yeah, I love it. Well, can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind?
I would love it.
So I got the opportunity to see the pictures of the bags, right? And I love the idea that it's a retro style, if you would. It's authentic, most definitely authentic, but it's like a revival. And the fence in your earliest childhood memory that's there that you for some reason noticed, I'm guessing. It looked something very similar to that, right?
Yes.
And it's also fascinating as well that the realization of what that represented is then the next step of you journeying on to the next step. Yeah?
Yeah.
Fair enough?
Yep, I like it.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So if we fast forward to when you were 12 years old, what was your favorite song?
Oh, gosh. When I was 12, let me see. I'll have to think a moment on that. I would have been probably in the 7th grade. And my favorite song probably was, that's a tough one. You are my sunshine.
You are my sunshine.
This is what came to mind. I don't know.
Well, it's amazing how these things connect. I'll tell you, it's very fascinating that so much of what you're doing is in renewable resources, if you would. And you being my sunshine represents so much of an energy that is renewable, isn't it? The sun.
Yep.
Yeah, just connecting dots here.
Nice.
Well, Carole, hey, this has been a great pleasure. Unfortunately, we've arrived at our destination, right?
Yeah.
But before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form, so it's yes or no. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Carole, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
I am definitely looking for someone to pass on my skills to. In fact, I just talked to a gal today who sounds to me like she would be an excellent intern. So I have my fingers crossed.
Are you married?
I am not.
Do you have children?
I do not.
Do you believe in God?
I do.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
I do.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
Definitely not.
How about 3 hours a week?
No.
What about screen time, the phone and or the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
Probably less.
All right. Carole, after 1,001 conversations in 3 months in 2016, I came up with a workbook thereafter with the idea of helping you find your own unique real self, right? So the name of the workbook is yours. It stands for your own unique real self. The idea being, as you answer questions that are reflective, that you connect to your mission, your own unique real statement is what I call it. If you, Carole, had to share with us your own unique real statement that represents Carole Murphy, what would you say that is?
Love the mother, our earth first.
Love it. Carole, this was a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Start where you are and do what you can.
Love it. Carole Murphy, thank you for being on what is inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Thank you.
Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.